So I keep hearing on YouTube people talking about having leverage, and usually what they mean by that is having basically the ability to force something to go in your direction by using something else. And that something else is most of the time debt. To be clear, most of the time, especially when it comes to like investing, when they say, oh, I'm gonna gain leverage, in what they're saying is they're gonna take out debt, get a low interest on that debt, invest that into whatever they're investing it into, and get a bigger return than the amount of interest being charged on the loan. This used to be more successful in the past when, you know, the federal government wasn't raising rates as much as they are and things like that. Right now, you can see people are getting foreclosed on, people are losing stuff, certain places are shutting down. It's not a good idea. So if you see like a year-old video or 2-year-old video recommending to use leverage, take it with a very big grain of salt. Like, people suggesting, oh, you know, you can buy this property, put down your down payment, and then the rest of it, you know, this person is going to come and rent the property and they're going to pay the mortgage for you. Like, yes, that's absolutely technically true, and it's even tax deductible, the rent that they pay you, as long as the loan is there, and that's something that's exciting. Any tax deductions at all that you can get into help you, like, significantly. One of the main ways that the wealthy gain and maintain wealth is tax breaks. Like, seriously, a ton of how they get to keep so much money is because they can avoid taxes. But you going into that and trying to do that, you might encounter quite a few problems, and you have to really seriously crunch the numbers to make sure that this actually is going to work out, even besides maintenance costs for the property, or, you know, property taxes on the property and things like that. But even besides crunching the numbers, even besides saying, here's this piece of property, I'm going to go ahead and have this person rent and stuff, maybe that's slightly more plausible. But when people talk about leverage and they're talking about, oh, I'm going to buy this property and just hold on to it until it's worth more than what I paid for it and then sell it, that's not that easy to do. Or even worse, when people say they're going to leverage and they're going to put in, like, you know, in investing, they're going to jump into something that they don't know a lot about, like calls and puts and such, and they're literally taking out money based on, say, the currency that they have. They already have, say, 100,000 in crypto, and then they take out a loan based on that asset so that they can buy a whole ton more crypto because they feel like it's going up. But crypto is very volatile, and if that crypto comes down, even if it's temporarily, to a certain point, the bank gets everything. And the person went from having $100,000 in assets to having nothing. Like, it's not just crypto that people do this with, though. Like, you know, some people might hear crypto and be like, oh, well, I wouldn't do crypto. But people do this with stocks. People do this with, you know, bonds. People do this with a lot of exchanges in investing. And I don't ever advocate get-rich-quick schemes or anything like that. Like, even, say, a super wealthy person, they invest into a new business venture. They are investing into that business venture, and they're only expecting, like, you know, a 5 to 8% return. Well, at that kind of a return rate, they could have gotten the exact same amount of returns by just doing the safe bet of investing into a market-wide index fund or an S&P 500 index fund. Doing the simple, boring thing that takes a while actually has a high enough return on it that all of these get rich quick schemes, 90 something percent of them, it's very, very high, fail to match what would have been gained if you just would have put some money into a safer and less risky investment and just left it there and not gotten emotional or have adrenaline or have any of the, gambling highs, and just left it alone and just let it sit there. And that's boring, that's not as interesting, but it is so significantly less risky. And they use the word leverage trying to make it sound like they have some sort of power to make themselves feel better about taking this giant risk. But in reality, the one with the power is the person who owns the loan. If someone suggests to you, especially in investing, to go get some leverage, please understand they're saying go get in debt and hope that it works out. And debt transferring into profit is not that easy, especially right now. And even if somehow you did successfully turn that debt into profit, it is very unlikely that the return percentage on that profit is going to match the return percentage on the profit you would have had just investing into a whole market index fund or an S&P 500 index fund. Even though that's slower, even though that can take decades, the return on your investment is way more secure, way less risky, and quite frankly, a decently high return on investment compared to a lot of these get-rich-quick schemes. So in reality, don't fall for the hype. There's a lot of people I see who just go to Reddit or go to YouTube or go to some sort of Instagram thing, and they're just like excited. I mean, there's whole Reddit threads that are just dedicated to, get rich quick, bro, schemes, and, it's... People lose so much money, because they're so desperate to be rich tomorrow. And they don't want to wait. But they could have gotten a better return if they would have just done it the slow waiting way. So even when leverage works out, it's usually not worth as much. So just be really careful. The word leverage sounds like a good thing, but leverage is a very dangerous, risky thing. Like, just please be careful, because people can lose so much because they had a false or inflated sense of power. And what you actually want to pursue with money, my big thing is you matter, and your money should make you feel secure.